These, once we lock down the mechanic, then we become untouchable.
Coming to Miami without coming through boxing.
Meech, it's the MK. It's not safe for us to be here.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love BMF, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today, we're going to be talking about BMF Season 3, Episode 9. This is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And as I told you guys last night, this episode had a lot of tension because we knew that the MKs, they was going to be on Meech and Terry's back, and we didn't know if Angel was going to get dropped off. We didn't know if somebody else was going to get dropped off, but we know in this episode, your boy Glock, he ended up getting shot, and of course we know Hoop, he ended up getting shot by Henrietta at the end of the episode. So of course we are left with the cliffhanger because we don't know 100% if Glock and Hoop are up out of here. And as I told you guys last night, I ain't believing nothing until I watch episode 10 to see the aftermath, because we already know in these shows they make it seem like somebody is getting dropped off and then all of a sudden they end up surviving. So we're going to see in the season finale what's going to happen. I told you guys last night as well that the season finale, from the looks of it, will be airing on May 10th. So we're going to be going on that break after episode 9, which to me makes no sense at all. I mean, you're going to go on a break right after episode 9, which carried a whole lot of hype. So now we got to wait even longer just to see the ending of the show. But I will continue to drop content for you guys. We will prepare for the season finale. That way we're ready for what's to come once it airs. But a lot of different things did happen in episode 9. It seems like Lucille has made her choice and she wants to be with the doctor. We know Charles was not okay with that. We also know that Henrietta is very pissed off about what happened to her cousin Tyson, and she believes Terry has something to do with it, which is not true. I told you guys, I can't wait to see what's going to happen if she finds out that Detective Bryant was the one that did this. But I still believe that she's going to find out about Detective Veronica Jen being a cop, and that could mess up the whole game plan that Bryant and Jen had as far as, taking down Henrietta. But let's begin the recap. What did we see in episode 9 titled Death Trap? Now the episode starts out with young Meech and young Terry. Of course we get the quotes of the episode. We know the brothers, they love Scarface. A lot of the stuff that they did was inspired by the movie Scarface, which is one of my favorite movies. It's a legendary movie, especially in the drug game. And we know they was talking about how they're going to go to Miami one day and how the world is going to be theirs. And we know based off the true story, that's exactly what ended up happening. Now, we get to Miami, Meech and Terry, they're talking about business. We know they have to meet up with the mechanic in order to set up the deal for him to work on their cars. That way, they can be untouchable and people like the Red Dogs can't find their drugs. But they have to end up going to Club Foxy to meet up with that boxer, Mac, that we saw earlier on in the season. He's going to set up the whole intro for them to have, the conversation with the mechanic. Now, Terry decides to bring Markeisha to Miami, which is a major, major mistake. And I know he regretted it later on in the episode, but I'm thinking like, man, this is a business trip. This ain't time for vacation. This ain't time to be kicking and having, fun and stuff. Like, really? She's down there believing that's exactly what they're going to be doing, but she's going to be very upset when she realizes that's not about to happen. And we know Meech, he was pissed off once he saw Markeisha. I know he was like, man, I can't believe Terry really brought her here. She can never be trusted. Now, we get to Club Foxy. They're talking about meeting up with the mechanic. And then we see your girl Angel. She is dancing. She sees Meech and Terry, and she has a look of concern on her face because she knows that the MKs are right there. They see Meech and Terry, and it seems like it's about to go down at this club. But Meech and Terry and Mac, they get the hell up out of there because it's, entirely too risky, and it messes up the whole meeting with, the mechanic, which he was very upset later on in the episode when he finally had the conversation with Meech and Terry. Now we know Terry was upset with Meech when they got in the car because of Angel and the Miami Killers. He didn't like it, and he should have told him in the first place that they were in enemy territory, and he did not like being blindsided, and he compared it to the whole thing in Atlanta. Now, we get to Detective Bryant and Detective Veronica Jen. Bryant tells her that he dropped off Tyson. She was upset, but Bryant's like, look, you wanted me to be honest? Well, I'm being honest, and I'm letting you know exactly what I'm doing. And Detective Veronica Jen said it would be a good idea if they planted a bug on Henrietta. That way they can catch her in the act, because we know she's going to be very upset when she finds out about what happened to Tyson. Now, we get to Markeisha, and man, I know she was pissing off Terry, but it's Terry's fault. Terry, he brought her there knowing that she was going to probably be running her mouth, and that's exactly what she was doing. She's thinking they supposed to be kicking it, having a good vacation, but in reality, this is a business trip. Ain't no time for all that. But Markeisha, she don't give a damn. Terry is telling her that she needs to basically get away from this area because it's not safe, but she wants to stick around. She believes all the stuff that she's been through with Boom has prepared her for all the stuff that she's dealing with right now. But Terry is telling her that these guys in Miami, they are way worse than Boom, and he does not want her getting hurt. All she cares about is this vacation, telling him she does not want him to ruin it. So once again, Terry, you slipped up bringing Markeisha, and you only can blame yourself. Now, Meech learns that he has to go to the Miami port and get the product, and they have to drive all this product back to Atlanta. So they really have to meet up with the mechanic and set up this deal, because if not, it's going to basically be impossible for them to get all the drugs back, especially with the Red Dogs on everybody's case. Now we get to Glock's right-hand man's funeral, and we know that Glock, all he wants is revenge. Now one of his guys is there, and they're talking about Angel, because we know she is there, and she had like a look of concern on her face. She walked away, and he's like, who was her? And Glock tells him that she's a businesswoman, and basically she follows the money. Whoever can do the most for her, that's where she's going to be at, right? And we know he's like, look, we're going to follow this snake to the swamp. So they already know what time it is. And this is what I was talking about. I mean, Angel is bouncing back and forth. You should already know that she's about that type of lifestyle. And she was messing around with Meech in the first place. So he put 2 and 2 together, and he believes if he follows her, she will lead him right to Meech. That way he can take him out, because he already knows Meech is there. Now, we get to your boy Raw Dog Charles Isley, and he doing what he got to do, y'all. He's actually doing great in the studio, and he ends up getting the good news that he can go on tour, a big gospel tour, and he's going to get paid. It's going to be all good, going to different areas, and he's happy. You know what I'm saying? The only thing is, Charles, he wants to go, but he wants Lucille to be there right with him. But we know Lucille, all she's thinking about is the doctor. Now we get to the mechanic, and of course he's upset because Meech and Terry did not come to that initial meeting at that club. And Terry, luckily he was there because he was able to buy them more time. We know Terry ended up buying one of his sculptures, but Terry just trying to make sure that this dude understood that they're willing to pay whatever they need to get this guy to work for them. And luckily it ended up working. Now, we get to Lucille, and Charles is having a conversation with her about the tour. He wants her to come with him. He's talking about Nicole can stay here with LaWanda, and Nicole was happy as hell. Lucille tells her to go to her room, and she tells Charles that she doesn't know about this. You know what I'm saying? And basically she wants to just stay home. Charles is upset, like, really? You just want to stay because you want to be around that doctor? Like, come on, come be with your husband. And she's telling him, look, that's your dream. That's what you want to do. Go ahead and do it. We know this conversation did not end well, and Charles is understanding more and more that this marriage and that Lucille wanting to be with him is pretty much coming to its end. But he is still going to try once again by the end of the episode. Now, we get to Angel, and her worst fear has come true. Glock, he understands that she is working with Meech, and he is following her, and she's scared, y'all. She is scared as hell. Luckily, he did not, force his way and try to get her up out of here. He wants to wait to see when she actually meets up with Meech. And we know she's going to tell Meech about this later on in the episode. Now, Detective Veronica Jen is able to plant this bug on Henrietta's sword. And I'm going to tell you right now, it was not looking too good. It wasn't looking good. But Jen ended up doing it, and she ended up hooking up with Henrietta. You know what I'm saying? They hooked up, had a good old time. And now it seems like Henrietta is really catching feelings. But based off the season finale trailer, it seems like something may happen. And we know eventually Henrietta is going to find out about what Veronica Jen is doing, and I want to know how she's going to get out of that mess. Now, we get to Meech and Angel. She goes to him, letting her know that Glock, he has found out what she is doing. She is scared. She can't go back. And Meech tells her, don't worry about it. He is not going to let anything happen to her while she's with him, right? And he tells her that she was right about the stuff that happened in Atlanta. And it wasn't just her owing him a favor. It was more of her having feelings for him. And we can tell the two are getting real close. The fan theory is that Angel may be Little Meech's mom. So you guys let me know, do y'all believe she is based off the real character, or could she be somebody fictional? Now, after Meech claps her cheeks on the beach, we know they go back to the hotel-y and they see Markeisha and Terry, and we know Meech tells them, like, look, y'all gotta stay here. So Markeisha and Angel, they need to stay back because Meech and Terry have to handle business, and it's entirely too dangerous for them to go out. And Markeisha, she's all upset talking about where my strap at. I ain't about to sit back here and have her try to protect me. Like, what's going on? I know how to handle mine. I mean, Markeisha, she running her mouth. She running her mouth like she's really big and bad. Know what I'm saying? So we know she's always going to create issues for your boy Terry. Now, Terry and Meech, they go back and meet up with the mechanic, and this time they bring the rest of the money, and now it seems like this deal can actually go through. He's going to agree on helping them out. We know they have a lot of issues with the Red Dogs, and they cannot afford to slip up and have them find what they're going to be putting in these cars, right? And the mechanic, his operation is, solid, right? He's able to create these safes. That way, Red Dogs or anybody else just can't go in and find it, and they will be able to move drugs without anybody knowing anything, right? Now, Hoop, he comes, he brings up a whip. We know Tina and Duffy, they bring up cars as well, and everything is looking, to go as planned. And I'm hoping that your boy Hoop pulled through, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Hoop was, seeming real happy, and he was doing real good, man. And we know Hoop, he has been very solid. I always thought something was up with Hoop, but he's proved that he's been a solid, member of BMF. So I'm hoping he can pull through, but it was not looking too good for him. Now, Meech, he goes and gets the product from the Miami port, and then we get to the date. Lucille and Dr. Maurice. Once again, everything is going good. We know the doctor, he is pouring his heart out. Let Lucille know just how much he, wants her and appreciates her, right? And then he pulls out that key on some fantasy suites type stuff, telling her, you can go on upstairs. You can decide what you want to do. It's your choice. And Lucille, she said, you know what? Say less. So they go up, and everything seemed like it was going well once again, like they was really about to get it on, right? But then Lucille, she said, you know what? I can't do it. I'm still, married to Charles. I got to figure all this out. Right now, it's not the right time. The doctor once again stops and says, you know what? I love you, and I will wait forever, basically, for you, right? And as I told you guys last night in my quick thoughts, early impressions, I thought the doctor was about to go off. I thought we was about to see the real Dr. Maurice, and he was about to say, look, Lucille, you gonna stop playing with me. You gonna give me this. I ain't playing around with you no more. But the doctor, I guess he is too legit. He is too legit to quit. He said, you know what? I'm a solid guy. I can wait. I'm going to beat Raw Dog Charles when it's all said and done. He will not get the victory. And once again, it seems like the doctor has the one up. And man, I thought your boy Raw Dog Charles was going to be able to pull this out. But as of right now, the doctor has taken the lead, and we only got one more episode left. And yes, I know how the true story went with, the whole marriage, but still, you hope and pray things can change a little bit in the TV show. Now we get to Nicole and Breeze. They're making out. Breeze ain't even supposed to be there, right? Now Breeze has to hide behind the door. Charles comes in and he's asking where Lucille is at. And we know Nicole, she tells him that she's out with the doctor. And Charles is like, you know what? We're going to go out. So I want you to get ready. And then we know Breeze, he end up going out the window. I mean, it seems like Breeze and Nicole are getting real close. And I'm hoping Nicole does not do anything stupid, because we know how she was looking and how she reacted when she saw LaWanda deliver that baby. Now, Terry ends up telling the whole crew about the new combination for the car and how to unlock the safe, talking about you got to hit the brake and you got to hit the radio, the washer, and the lights at the exact same time, and then it opens up the safe. So each of these cars will have, their own unique combination. That way, people just can't go in and find this stuff, right? And we know what the mechanic said. It ain't gonna be that easy for the Red Dogs just to go in and find it. So as of right now, everything is going well. And it seems like this whole meeting and this new partnership with the mechanic is going very good. Now, we get to Nicole and her pops, Raw Dog Charles, and they're having a very unique conversation. He's telling Nicole don't rush into anything as far as, being with the boy and take her time, get to learn and know about herself first. And of course, Nicole, she's like, look, I already know what I need to know. She's basically learned from her parents' mistakes, telling Raw Dog Charles, like, look, she is never going to allow Breeze to treat her the way that he treated moms. And y'all know Charles, he didn't like that. And we know Nicole was talking about she did not mean it like that. And Charles told her, oh, yes, you did. But he wasn't really tripping. He ended up playing, Wildflower by New Birth. And, they danced or whatever, had a good conversation. And we know Nicole was telling him, you need to go ahead and just go on that tour. Even if mom does not go, you always in a good mood, especially if it's about music. So Charles understands that she is right, but we know he is still going to ask Lucille one last time. Now we get to your boy Booker T, aka Remy, and we know he got some intel about Meech's operation. He's in Miami. Of course, his guy is telling him that they saw some vans and stuff, and they understand that they're down in Miami. Is probably bringing up weight from the port. So this is probably the reason why the Red Dogs knew about, those guys coming back at the end of the episode. And that's probably because of Remy and his boy. I mean, this Booker T looking guy, he's a snake. And I cannot wait till we smoking on that Remy pack. But I know he was talking about we ain't finna let no more outsiders come in our city. So I know this dude was up to something. Now we get to Gar, and we know that Gar and Blaze are real cool. Blaze got him in his back pocket. And we know that Detective Veronica Jen, she saw him at the gambling spot, right? But he was just showing his respects because he knows what happened to Tyson. And we know that Blaze is upset about this because he warned Henrietta about it. But Henrietta, she does not give a damn. She's upset that she's lost another cousin. And the sad thing is, she's believing Terry did this. Terry had nothing to do with it. It's all Detective Bryant. And she wants payback. She's thinking Terry is the one, and all we can hear is Blaze telling her to stop. You ain't about to do this. He is trying to control her, but we know she gonna make her move. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna make her move, and she made her move at the end of the episode on the hoop. Now, we know that Detective Bryant and Veronica Jen are talking about they're just going to wait it out and see what's going to happen between, Henrietta and Terry. And then they're going to come in and swoop everybody up when it's all said and done. The only thing is they cannot trust anybody at the department, so they can't let them know. They're going to go over everybody's head, and they're going to go to Detective Emberson's pops, Councilman, Emberson. And then that way, they can get that approval and make their move. So we're going to see if this game plan works. We're going to see if Veronica Jen is able to make it out of the season finale alive. Now, we get to Terry and Markeisha, and she's upset because she's been there for 2 days, and she's pissed off talking about her vacation is ruined and all that stuff. Terry tells her he's been doing whatever he had to do to make sure she is good. And of course, they had to do business with the mechanic. So it is what it is. I mean, as I said before, this is a business trip. This ain't time for no damn vacation. And he tells Markeisha he's basically tired of her. He's been busting his butt trying to make sure that she is good. And now he wants her to go ahead and just go. And then he has to drive back. She's, of course, throwing that in his face, talking about you ain't supposed to be driving and all that stuff. I mean, they're going back and forth, back and forth. We know Terry only brought her because he was in fear that Vince was going to clap those cheeks. And I'm thinking like, man, go ahead and let him clap those cheeks, man. She for the streets. Get her up out of here. She's not worth it, right? Now, Markeisha did have me cracking up at the end of this conversation because she told Terry the only thing that he's going to have back at home is LaWanda and her milk-stained bras. I'm like, okay, Markeisha, you ain't playing around. You not playing around. I mean, Terry, all you got to do is call Tasha. You know what I'm saying? Call Tasha and she'll drop her off just like that. Now, we get to meet Terry and Angel. They're downstairs in the lobby getting ready to leave. And then all of a sudden, the MK's Glock, they come into the hotel and they looking for Meech. They deep too, y'all. They ain't playing. So now they have to figure out a way to get out of this without them noticing them, which is going to be very difficult for them to do. All of a sudden, Angel drops her purse and then they see them. And then we know Meech, he end up hitting Glock. he did like some type of kick, and then he starts stumping him out. The MKs, they get the shooting. Meech is able to get out of this without taking any hits, and we know Terry and Angel was able to get out as well without taking any hits. But your boy Glock, he ended up getting shot by his own crew. They were trying to shoot at Meech. Glock gets up and gets popped, and I'm like, man, it's a damn shame to what happened to him, but it is what it is. I mean, you shot a kid, so I don't feel bad about anything that happens to you. Now, the question is, did Glock make it? Because we know in these shows, they like to stretch stuff out. So I told you guys, I'm not making no predictions. I'll find out in the season finale, because they like to give us these cliffhangers and have us thinking a character is gone. And then when we watch the next episode or the next 3 or 4 episodes, that character pops back up. Now, we get to your boy Raw Dog Charles, and once again, he asks Lucille one final time for her to come on this tour with him as his wife. He wants to spend that time with her. He wants to be with her. But Lucille tells him, I don't know about that. You don't have to ask for my permission. And to be honest with you, I think I'm in love with the doctor. And Charles, man, I know he was in his feelings. I know it was kind of sad. He says, so you just gonna give up on our marriage just like that? Lucille tells him, well, if she continues to stay in this marriage, she believes that she is giving up on herself. So after she said that, we know Charles gave her a kiss on the cheek, and he walked out. I know he was mad and upset, but he's like, man, screw it. It is what it is. I tried everything that I had to get her back, and it is what it is. So we're going to find out in the season finale the aftermath of this storyline, and we're going to find out if things are actually greener on the other side with Dr. Maurice. Now, we get back to Meech, Terry, and the crew. We know they was waiting on Meech because they had to escape the MKs. And we know that Terry and the mechanic had a very interesting conversation about his pops and carrying, his pops' pain and trauma. And he said a very interesting quote, and that is, pain is forever, but life is for the living. Now, this guy is very cool. I hope nothing happens to him, and I hope they can continue this great partnership. Now, Meech does pop up, and he tells everybody they have to prepare to go back home. And we know he tells Terry that the world is theirs. They only got a few more things left, and they should be good, right? And we know Terry understands just how hard it is to be the boss and all the pressure it is that's on you when you're leading an organization. And we know Meech was talking about that it's now time to take over the world, right? Just like when they was kids, they dreamed of this moment, and now this dream has came true. Now we get to your girl Henrietta, and she's pissed off. She's thinking Terry has done this to her cousin, and she ends up shooting the hoop, I believe, about 3 times. And she had the golden gun on some 007 type stuff. If this is the real golden gun, we know Hoop is gone, because in the game, one shot with this gun, yup, out of here, y'all. Now, I'm hoping Hoop somehow, some way could survive. We saw characters before get shot and they made it. The question is, will Hoop be added to that list, or will he just be gone? I mean, it's kind of sad because Hoop was a solid character. He was loyal, and I know Terry, he will be very upset once he learns this news. Now, the Red Dogs pulled the entire crew over, and they have them out there for over an hour. That lets me know they could not find anything. This is why Terry's like, look, y'all might as well just let us go. Go ahead and give us our cars back. But they said, hell nah, that's not happening. And they end up getting a tip from somebody. Somebody let them know that these guys may be carrying some drugs, and they're going to take their cars to the impound. So they're making it very difficult for them to move and operate. The sad thing, they had all their weight in these vehicles. So y'all know Meech is upset, Terry is upset, and now they have to figure out who has, gave the Red Dogs this intel. I told you guys, from the looks of it, it's most likely Booker T, aka Remy, because he was running his mouth earlier on in the episode talking about, we're not about to let these guys come into our city and all that. And they had the intel on the vans and, Meech and Terry's movements, right? So most likely it was this guy. He needs to get dropped off quickly. I'm tired of seeing his face. He's always mad each and every episode. He's getting people dropped off that should not be dropped off because he's reckless and he does not think things through. We're going to find out in the season finale if Hoop somehow, some way made it. We're going to find out in the season finale if Glock somehow, some way made it. And we're going to find out if we're going to be smoking on that Booker T Remy pack, because I'm hoping and praying that is the case. And also, we're going to see if Detective Veronica Jin can make it out of the season finale alive, messing around with Henrietta. She needs to be neutralized, as well as Remy and anybody else that gets in, Meech and Terry's way. Now, as I told you guys, it's looking like May 10th is the return of the show. They're going to be going on that break, which I believe does not make any sense, but it is what it is. So we gotta wait. I will be dropping more content for you guys to get, everybody ready for the season finale. So I want y'all to stay tuned for the videos. But I want to thank you guys once again for all the love, all the support, and I will catch y'all on the next one. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.